Hey, it's Matt Cook. Today I'm speaking with my good friend Sebastiaan Vasseur. Sebastian and I met quite recently through our mutual friend Alexander Vitkin, who's a successful entrepreneur as well as the director of marketing at the world's largest dating advice company, Real Social Dynamics. And we noticed that we both had fairly similar interests, and we both wanted to help people become more successful in marketing and their business. So Sebastian runs a very successful video sales letter production at salesvideogenius.com. And Sebastian is going to help us out by telling us everything we need to know about using video sales letters to help us get better conversions and more sales. So thanks for joining me, Sebastian.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Matt.
So can you tell me a little bit about your background? I mean, how did you get into marketing and now writing sales scripts and video sales letter production?
Yeah, sure. I started studying in university about 5 years ago, and during my studies, I wanted to do something extra and to make a little bit of extra money without working in a supermarket because nobody wants that.
Mm.
I began setting up online businesses because I read a lot about it, and I read that it could be very profitable, and I started studying with that and doing a lot of research into that. Before that, I used to make websites for local businesses, and that was basically at the end of elementary school. So I started doing a little bit of HTML and learning about the basics of how to set up a website, et cetera, et cetera. Fast forward to 5 years later, university, I started to doing internet marketing, which the term I don't really like because it's associated with a lot of negativity, a lot of bad things, a lot of scams, etc. I started setting up online businesses, and at the end of it, I was really looking for a sales video because I read a lot about it, and I heard that it was the new thing to sell through video, and YouTube was exploding at the time.
Mm.
I couldn't find an affordable one, and all these companies were charging like $1,000 for a minute, which was not affordable for me at the time.
Mm.
I started looking into it to how to make one myself. But I did not want just any video up on my websites because I was doing quite well, and I didn't want to ruin my conversions by uploading a bad video. What I did, at the time I had a website which was averaging about 3 sales a week, and which is not a lot, but it was a $99 product, and for 3 sales a week, it was fine to test with. I created 3 videos actually, and tested them for 3 weeks, which is not a very grounded test, but I just wanted to test the basics of it and how the different types of videos, how the customers react to it, how visitors react to it, and what is doing it to my conversions. Video 1 I put out for 3 weeks, and it made around the same, like 3 sales. I think it was 4 sales or something. I was all excited. 1 sale extra was fine. Then I uploaded video 2, and it actually made less sales. I made 0 sales in 1 week. So I thought, okay, this is not something I want to do. And then I uploaded video 3, and my sales just exploded. It made 9 sales that week for a 3 sale average, which is like a 300% increase.
Mm.
So that was great. I was super excited, and then I knew I was onto something. I built my other videos. I did a lot of testing on the product pages that I owned, and at the end it was like a big success. And actually, people started inquiring to me about where I got the sales video as opposed to on my products. Which was funny in a sense because I made them myself. But people going onto a different page and inquiring about the sales video that is on the page, except to the product, it was kind of a surprise for me. So that's when I started doing them professionally.
Mm. So you didn't come into it with the intention of making it for other people. It was actually
No, absolutely
their
not.
requests.
It was just a request, and it was quite fun to do.
Okay. So what type of people were asking you for video sales letters, and what did they want to use it for? In other words, what type of person is a video sales letter right for?
Well, in a sense, it's mainly people that want to sell on their website, and most of the people already did some testing and already have a few products up, already have a sales letter,
Mm,
but miles and miles of text, and they just want to look at smarter ways to implement it on their website.
mm.
And
So
yeah.
go ahead. So is it a replacement for the existing copy that they have, or is it kind of you combine it with your text and images?
Well, I generally advise my clients to keep their original sales letter, but dramatically decrease the amount of written copy.
Right.
So yeah, I usually advise them to do it additionally, so to put up a video which
Hmm.
is extra value, and then decrease their amount of written copy. Yeah, dramatically. If you look at my sales video genius website, it only has like 15 lines of sales
Mm,
copy, and for the rest it's just video. But the reason I advise them to keep their sales copy is because in some niches, especially, people are at work. They don't have audio. People,
right.
you
Yep.
don't want just a video because then you lose visitors because they don't have audio.
Yep. Yep. Interesting. Okay. So for the text, you wouldn't be putting extra things in the text. It's just you want to cover the things that are in the video just so that it's there, especially for people who can't watch the video. Is that right?
Yeah, sure. You want to give a breakdown of what your product is and what you have to offer,
Mm,
and actually encourage them to watch the video and tell them there's extra value in the video and give
okay.
them some value in the video.
Perfect. Good. I'm wondering if you might be able to tell us what the process of making a video sales letter is, in terms of two things. Firstly, how do you interact with your client to make sure that the video communicates the right message? And secondly, if you could tell us about the actual physical process you go through making the video.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, most of our clients already have a website up, like I said. So they're experienced internet marketers and they already have a couple of websites up and they want to do a new launch or they want to improve their current conversions. So the first thing we do is consult with them and see what they really want and what they want to achieve with their website. Do they want to explain? Do they want to convince? Do they want people to sign up for free for their course, or do they just want to sell and increase their conversions?
Mm,
So, and then we read their complete sales letter, which often is a huge pain and confirms actually the need for a sales video, because you really have to read 7,000 words of
yeah.
or 10,000 or 20,000 words of sales copy, which
Mm,
is insane.
yeah, they can be long.
I never read. I don't know about you, but I never read a complete sales letter for a product that I bought. I just
Never.
scanned through it, and then if I trusted the person, then I bought it, and if I didn't, then I didn't buy it. So and then we look at their competitors and get an understanding of the market. Most markets are fairly not new to us because we have a lot of experience in sales videos at the moment. So
Mm,
most niches we already done a couple of videos.
okay.
So yeah, we look at their competitors, see what their stronger points are, their USP, unique selling points, and then we start writing the script in a engaging and friendly way,
Hmm.
and then we send it back to them and have them make as many alterations as they want, which is very important. Some companies do just one round of alterations,
Right.
but yeah, we don't start before we know for sure that it's exactly what they want.
Okay.
So yeah, next step is we will start producing the animations, and yeah, which is the most important part of the sales video, except for the script, of course. So script is the foundation. Then we will start to produce the animations, and we will send back the first draft. Normally, we send a couple of drafts along the way, so to keep the client updated and show them what we're working on, and have them give feedback along the way.
Hmm.
So yeah, and after that, the client again can have as many alterations as he wants. Again, to make sure that he or she is completely happy, and it's their personal style of product, because
Yeah.
most of the times these clients are also selling from their own person. So yeah, and they have their name, their photo, everything up on their website. So you want to make sure that the video you're producing is actually them speaking to them.
Right.
And that's why we have a lot of clients that do their own voiceover, for example,
Right.
which
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
generates, yeah, massive trust, of course.
Ah, good. Yeah, perfect.
So,
And
and then,
it really looks
yeah,
like
and
they
then we
created it
sign,
themselves as well.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like they created the video especially for the visitor and yeah, went above and beyond to make sure that the
Yep.
visitor feels comfortable. And that's what it's all about. It's about trust and people being comfortable buying products.
Mm. I mean, you kind of touched on my next question, which is about the auditory part of the
Yeah.
video, how including that audio of the actual seller of the product builds trust. But my question is, see, most web copy, it's just visual sense. We just read text, we
Sure.
see images, that kind of thing. But then
Yeah.
with a sales letter, you've got that auditory component. So you've got
Mhm.
voice, you've got sound effects, there's
Yeah,
music.
absolutely.
I was wondering if you
Yeah,
might be
that's
able to talk a little on how those components are used, how you use audio to increase conversions and make sales, in addition to, of course, that building of trust.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Like the audio part is one of the most important parts of the video because it generates trust and authenticity in your video. So what we always do is try the voiceover to sound like a friend. So
Mm,
this sounds very weird because it's a complete stranger, but when I instruct my voiceover talents, I always tell them to speak as if they're speaking to a friend in a coffee store over a coffee, and excitedly tell them something without the need to overcompensate on
great.
sales. Without screaming in their face or making blunt, bold statements by audio. It's always very chill.
Mm,
And this lowers people's defense and resistance mechanism that they naturally have on the internet because everybody knows what is going on online, how many scams there are, et cetera, et cetera. And people are generally very resistant online and very not very open to receive new messages because there's just so much content blasting in your face the whole day. You really develop this mechanism to deal with that. So, and that, for that same reason, we never use sound effects
mm,
in our videos.
okay.
It's just not natural. I don't want any explosions or cowbells or any other weird things in audio sense in my video because it's not natural and it's not a fancy fair. It's like a building trust exercise
Mm,
with your visitors.
mm,
So yeah, that's why audio is so important because it's exactly the message you want to convey.
perfect.
And yeah, reading is selective. Like you said, you scan over text. I do the same. I just scroll and scroll, and
Yep.
normally you see these blunt statements in red, traditional internet marketing. So, and that's very selective. You know what you want to read, and you decide for yourself. But audio is not. It's hard to switch off the sound
Yep.
for a second and not listen to specificality that you want to get across to your visitor.
Mm,
So, and then the last part is the background music, which is
yeah, yeah.
also very important and specifically tailored to the video. When you make a sales video for a new app, for example, it needs to have a completely different background music than when you're selling a product to solve a very serious disease, for example. So yeah, and some niches and video lengths don't even have audio because it's one annoying or two it doesn't resonate with the customer very much.
Mm. I suppose that'll just be something you could test. Do you get high conversions with or without the background
Well,
track
we already
for
tested like
each person?
yeah, we already tested for every niche. We
Yep.
we tested 20, 25 videos,
Mm.
and we know what works for which niche.
Perfect, perfect. You know, one thing you said before was that you have your voiceover guy. I imagine he's talking to someone in a coffee store, a friend in a coffee store. Something I do that's very similar because I talk a lot directly to a camera. I actually have like
Yeah.
a picture of my best friend kind of hanging just below the
Wow,
camera. So just to
that's a
get me
great
in
tip. I
that
have
zone.
to do
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
So really, because you kind of forget, like you're just talking to a camera,
Uh-huh.
but you know, you want to talk to your potential customer like they're a friend. So it's a good way
Yeah.
to just
Sure. No,
remind
that's a
yourself to
great
do it.
tip.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
So tell me something about mistakes that some people make when they maybe try to make their own sales letter for their business, and how can they avoid those mistakes?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the biggest mistake in a sales video, and I see it a lot of times, is making it completely unnatural. It's like an explosion of energy, and yeah, it's like completely unnatural. It blows up in
Mm,
your face, and that's like one of the biggest mistakes. I often compare it to like walking on the street and somebody like walking towards you and
yeah,
wanting to interact with you. Well, imagine he like runs up to you, screams in your face, blunt statements like "earn $1 million a week," and like
yeah,
screaming. How would you react? You know, your natural reaction is to like get back and not being receptive to what he said, as opposed to somebody walking up to you in the street and like striking up a friendly conversation. You'll
mm,
be much more likely to respond to his message.
yeah,
So that's why I actually always advise my clients to put their video on autoplay on their website.
yep,
And in the beginning, they're very hesitant to do that because they know these sales videos that
yeah,
explode in your face, and they don't want to scare away their visitors by autoplaying this message.
yep,
But yeah, for our videos, it's just like a very subtle musical intro, and then like a very friendly voice that like encourage you to keep watching. So and
just kind of
then
ease into
yeah,
it.
you know, yeah, and then they're fine with that. Then put it on autoplay and have great results with that as well.
Mm. Any other mistakes
And
that people make?
yeah, sure. Another big mistake is not addressing their visitor's problem in the first couple of seconds.
Right,
So, but that's also with traditional sales
of
letter or
course.
any business for that matter. Is like people uh, are just talking about their product and how great it is for them and
Mm,
what it made, how much it made for them, et cetera, as opposed to looking at who's my visitor, what kind of problems does he have, and how can I solve that problem for him, and also how can I make sure that in the first couple of seconds people are receptive to this message and actually think that they are going to benefit from this video.
mm,
I just read that people have an attention span of 8 seconds
mm.
when entering your website, and the average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. So yeah, you have about like 8 seconds, as much as a goldfish, to make them excited about their video.
Okay,
And interesting as well is that in 2000, people had an average attention span of 12 seconds, so it's
it's going
massively
down.
decreasing.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely, and it's keeping will keep on going down for a long time,
Mm,
and it's mainly due to these instant, quick fix, high
yep.
stimulation websites like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube that are just like all over the place.
Mm. Something I've noticed about attention span is people do lose interest quickly, but I've still noticed that the ability for a human being to focus and focus and focus
Uh-huh.
just for massive amounts of time does still exist. So if you're creating a
Absolutely,
very
yeah.
compelling video, something that's engaging and of value to them, you can hold their interest, can't you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm currently doing an academic study where I have to read academic papers for hours and hours at a
Mm,
time. And yeah, I definitely acknowledge the fact that people can concentrate on something, but they have to be really engaged into it,
yeah.
and also they need to want to focus on something
Mm, good.
because the internet, you know, you probably do that as well. If I'm surfing online, you do this tab surfing and have like 15 different tabs open and switch from one to another to like super effective, but that massively decreases the amount of interest you have for each individual tab.
Yep. Just shared.
So yeah,
You only have one attention span, and the more tabs, the more you share,
yeah,
spread yourself
exactly.
thin. Okay,
Yeah.
you mentioned at the beginning that when you were first looking for a video sales letter, you found ones that were too expensive and low quality. So
Mhm.
I'm wondering if you might be able to help some other people that are in that situation. So something I actually wanted to cover was how people can avoid scams. So now to me, something is a scam when someone charges more money than kind of what they give you in return, kind of
Yeah.
what the value of that thing is. I wonder if you can
Mhm.
tell us a bit about how people can make sure that they don't choose the wrong provider and get something that's going to either hurt their business or at least, not really help them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think on the internet, as much as in general life, the general rule applies is that something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Mm.
So that's
Yep.
yeah, that's like the biggest lesson I've learned. And actually, my dad told me that 15 years ago, and it still holds on pretty well. That being said, for sales video specific, I would always ask my provider a lot of questions before I made a purchase
Yep.
for a video, because it's something that is, one, very personal, and two, is going to affect your conversions a lot. So I would always ask him a lot of questions, and specifically ask him for demos.
Okay.
So yeah, our demos are on our Vimeo channel, which is vimeo.com/salesvideogenius.
Mm-hmm.
And I always send this to my clients, and actually not all of our videos are on there, but because a lot of our clients don't want their videos to be
Sure.
up anywhere else than their own website.
Mm.
But ask them whether what you see in this demo is actually the quality that they will be getting, because a
Yep.
lot of these providers, they order a very expensive video for themselves, put it up on their website, and then the quality that they give back to their customers is nowhere near the video
Mm.
that is on their website.
Like a bait and
And
switch.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's what's going on a lot on the internet, and
Right.
sales videos are no exception to that.
Okay.
And also, of course, like any other product that you buy, ask them for the refund policy.
Sure.
So have that in writing, and always make sure that you qualify for the refund policy. So if you're not happy, that you can get back your money.
Mm. Mm.
And actually, that is, with PayPal and all, it's getting pretty safe to buy stuff online.
Good. Good.
So yeah, and for the client as well. I mean, it's not only the provider that is that they have to scan. They have to scan themselves as well. Do I really want this video, and do I want to be involved in the process? And I encourage them to be involved in the process as much as possible,
Yep.
so they know each step what is going on, and they're
Okay.
not disappointed, or they can tweak things.
Mm.
Yeah, the clients that I had that were the most, well, difficult, so to say, were always the ones that were not engaged in the process.
Okay.
And in the beginning, I failed to keep them engaged. So I just assumed that, okay, this is the time frame that I have for this video. The client gives me like all the directions what he wants, and then after 10 days, video is ready. I send it to the client, and then it's something he expected something completely different. So
Right.
that's a major lesson I've learned
Right.
over doing dozens and dozens of videos, is that you always have to keep your clients engaged.
And on the same
And
way, it's a tip to the person seeking a video to engage
absolutely,
themselves as well.
yeah,
Put the effort in to,
yeah,
make
definitely,
sure you're getting exactly what you want. Good.
yeah.
Tell me about what you think the future of video sales letters is on the internet, because my brother mentioned to me the other day when I showed him your service that in his experience, everyone's really captivated by video now. So
Mhm.
YouTube is huge. People just they watch video and then they finish watching that
Yeah.
video and it's just click another video. While other things, as we mentioned before, attention span is
Mhm.
just going down, down, down. So are we moving toward everything being video, or what's the balance gonna be? Are we gonna move to some sort of equilibrium? What do you think is gonna happen?
Well, I would say I think we're moving towards a far less information dense environment.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot more information available, but it's a lot less dense. So you already see that, for example, in Wikipedia. So when you Google a certain topic, you go to the Wikipedia page, and there's the information you want, like completely segmented in the different
Mm.
different areas of expertise, et cetera, which works like super well if you want to consume information. And I mean, video can definitely help with that. But I've seen beautiful landing pages where you probably seen them as well, where you have these photos. You scroll down, you see like a bar of text, and then you see another photo, and you see a bar of text as well. And I'm sure those landing pages are converting pretty good as well, because it has a lot of a visual aspect, and it's not so information dense.
Mm.
So that could work very well too.
Mm.
And on the other side, people are getting far more comfortable buying stuff online.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, like 10 years ago, people were super suspicious, and today we buy our groceries on the internet.
Yeah.
So it's getting like far more accepted to buy stuff online. And that's why we don't need a website anymore with 20,000 words convincing somebody to buy something from us, because they already know that it's safe to buy something online, and
Yeah.
they know what they want and how to do their research. They know they're smart. They know where to find reviews. They know how to find scam websites that confront scams, and they know how to find those as well. So I think we're moving away from this whole information dense, convincing selling,
Yep.
and this brings a shift, obviously. So I think video is a great tool, and but only if you use it smartly.
Yep.
And I always need to laugh like uncontrollably when I see these internet marketers and they upload PowerPoints on YouTube, and they put an affiliate link down there, and they have like 60 views, and they're hoping somebody will click them.
Yep.
I mean, this is not a sustainable. This is not value, you know.
No.
And in my education and my experience, a business only works when it brings value.
Agreed.
And it doesn't matter what you sell, as long as you bring insane value to your customer, you will sell stuff because they want it and they see value in it. So yeah, it doesn't matter, as long as you bring great value, people are going to buy your stuff anyway. But video helps with this. It helps conveying the message, and it helps by tackling this, what we like to call digital ADD. Digital attention deficit disorder that people have these days, and it helps by generating trust as well. But again, yeah, value is the most important thing at the end of the day.
It seemed like you also indicated that we're moving to an arena where video is going to have to be high quality to be successful. It'll be competitive.
Yeah. Well, high quality is yeah, it's not in the sense that you need like flashy animations and like a $5,000 video. But it just needs to be information rich, and it needs to add value. So it needs to add to this information gap that the visitor has and wants answered. So, and then it doesn't matter what kind of video you have. And actually, we found that a video with a lot of animations and explosions and like super high stimulation don't work that well.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you or work with you, how would they go about that?
Yeah, sure. They can first they can always go to my website, which is www.salesvideogenius.com. And of course, they can always send me an email at studio@salesvideogenius.com, and I can give them advice on their sales video that they're currently building themselves. I can give them advice on sales video providers around. I've had the good fortune to meet a lot of good sales video providers that are currently running their business, and some of them are really good. So I'm happy to give advice on the individual companies as well.
Right.
And yeah, I'm sure you can put a link on your blog as well. Yeah, as for your readers, I have this special discount, which is $50 off. And yeah,
thank you.
The discount code. So let's decide on a discount code. What would be a good one?
What do you want? Letters, numbers? How many?
Letters, just a word. Just make a cool word, and I'll make sure that it works.
Well, I mean, my website address is purecopywriting.com. So why don't we make it the word pure? That's Papa, Uniform, Romeo, Echo. Pure.
Okay. Sure. So as soon as this goes up, the discount code works as well.
Okay, great. Well, Sebastiaan, thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it. I mean, I got a lot of value out of it, so I'm sure anyone listening to this and watching it got a lot of value as well. So appreciate the time. Thanks very much.
Great.
Okay.
You're very welcome.
See you later.
Okay.